what's going on, people? Welcome back to my channel. So I have another Bandpass tutorial here. It's going to show you a few things that I do to make my kick drum sound better on Bandpass. And I have a song here with a little melody already picked out and snares and hi-hats and stuff like that. So I'll just show you a few tips. I'm not going to get super detailed, but just show you a few presets and a few things you can do to your kicks to make them sound a little better. I have a kick picked out here already, and so it's not perfect, but that kind of gets me to my first kind of tip, is that there is no perfect kick. You have to pick the one that fits your song, that sounds good for your song. That's why I do my kicks last, because when I have my bass line or whatever and my melody already picked out, then I can go do my kicks and just pick one that I really think fits my song. So there is no perfect kick drum. That's my first tip. Second, I guess to pick your kick drum, a few things you can do is it's good to listen to a few so you can really get an idea and get closest to the one of what you thought would be good for your song. So it's good to test them out. One way you can do that is just pick an instrument, maybe double that instrument like that. Go to your music thing, type in kicks, and play your song. So here's my song. There's kick 7. I use that one a lot. It's pretty standard. So that would be one way to kind of choose which kick you want, get it closest to what you were thinking, and then tweak it from there, adjust it from there. A few of those might have sounded okay, but since I already have one that's pretty good that I have picked out, we'll delete that. So that was just purely just to show you how to kind of test out some different kicks. So that's the first step, picking the right one. Next would be the harmonics. Usually I just use whatever natural octave the kick is already in. I just use it and then just kind of adjust it. You can go to your root note of your song and put your kick down to your root note if you think that helps. It's not necessary. I just use stock kicks and I just use the octave that they're already in, and I adjust it from there. So those are two things you can do to kind of get the harmonics right, make sure that it really fits with your song. So that's step 2, harmonics. So the third thing I do is you definitely want to mess around with the length and the attack of your kick. So the length, so let's hear with the kick drum that I have picked out. It's a little bit punchy, but I'll show you how to make it less punchy in a second. So you see time stretch, I made it a little bit faster. I made the whole note or the whole kick a little bit faster. I put the time stretch forward just a tiny bit, so that makes it a little bit shorter. So that has to do with the length. That's one thing you can mess around with, the timing, the time stretch. You can also go to your envelope folder, enable it, and really mess around, put the attack farther back. That's one way to kind of get it more punchy. You put the attack farther back to the peak part of the kick. The longer your kick is, the more bass it's going to create, so that might conflict with your song. So but still that's part of the length. So longer, shorter, whichever one you want to do. There's sustain and release buttons. You can shorten the sustain and the release. You can make it longer. I kind of want a more punchy, shorter kick on this song, so I'm going to kind of put these back. Put the decay down. So when I enable it, it's a little bit less punchy, a little bit more muffled, but the transients sound pretty good. There's also like the curve button, which messes around with like the curve of the start of your kick. There's the amount. If you go all the way this way, it's going to be a little more subby. This way, it's a little more punchy. Or you can just keep it flat along the top of your kick, more with its natural sound. Those all adjusting all these kind of messes with the length. I actually think it sounds a little better with it on, so we'll keep it on. So that's the length. You can also just purely, you can take the hold off, which it's already off, or you can put the hold on, which will play your whole kick. So that means it's going to play the whole length of the kick. If you take the hold off, it's going to play the shorter. So that's one way to choose a good length. It's pretty important. So the next thing I mentioned with the length is the attack. Now to adjust the attack of your kick, the envelope folder does kind of do that with what I showed you. There's an attack knob right here, but there's also the transients. So you go into your presets, scroll all the way down. There's a transient folder right here. And starting to sound better already, I think. But so the transients, this is where you can really like adjust your attack, like make the timing of your kicks better. There's like an attack hold button which will hold your attack over here. There's also release hold, which does the same thing but with release. There's a little output for the volume of the kick, and there's even a filter knob. You can kind of adjust the lows and the highs. So transients is good for the attack. So that's another thing you can do. And then my fourth tip would be, like messing with a multi-band compressor. Actually, we'll leave the transients on. So the multi-band compressor, you're going to probably want to listen to your song while you're running the compressor, like listen to it all at the same time. It's pretty important that you get it accurate. It's not always necessary to use a compressor, but it does kind of help you like really have control and adjust your kicks a little bit better. Let's just hear what it sounds like with the multi-band compression on. Now here's it with it off. So this is just like the presets. Like this is just how it is. I'm not going to go into every one of these, but you'd have to kind of adjust it and just listen and adjust it while you're listening and get the kick how you want it to your song. But this is a little thing you can use, multi-band compression. It sounds a little bit more boxy and subby with it on right now. That's probably because I haven't done anything. I haven't adjusted anything yet. Let's just try a few things real quick. Now it's important to listen to your beat while it's important to adjust the compression with your song going, so you can like really hear the volume, and because it's gonna like mess with the all the transients and everything, and it's gonna like process them. So it's just important to like play it while you're listening. But you know, this is kind of like, you might want to learn this a little bit more before you start doing it. It's not always necessary. I think it sounds pretty good. It's a little bit more punchy now that I messed with it a little bit. Yeah, we'll just leave it on. So it's starting to sound a little bit better. So those are like 4 tips so far, and then my last thing, it's not really a tip, but it's just kind of a little thing to think about, like the character of your kick. People call it character. I actually like to call it like the flavor, and it's kind of like the uniqueness of your kick, or just the character of it. Like, does it stand out? And one thing you can do to get a good character with your kick to like really fit your song is the multi-band distortion, which is actually like right above, right under the multi-band compression. So it's right here. So there's like a mode button. There's a lot more knobs you can mess with. So it definitely does sound, you know, it's giving it a little bit of character, flavor. I'm going to stick with my word. I like my word better. So let's just hear it with my original, whatever I did to this first one, and then let's hear the new one. Yeah, way too punchy, way too loud. Here's the second one. So the transients are a little bit off, but much better, especially for not really even doing much to it. Just like very quickly showing you those little effects that you can add. So those are my 5 tips for kicks on Bandpass. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll have some more stuff coming soon. Later guys, peace.